Hey guys, Palsteron here, and this is the follow-up video for my Tornado Shot Accuracy Stacker. So I just want to make some stuff clear. First up, the website that I'm using to show you exactly what I'm doing is Craft of Excel. If you haven't already checked it out, it's really cool, especially if you usually don't really metacraft or anything. You can just play around with all the currency stuff, see the odds, stuff like that, just see the mods. So if you have never really engaged with that, I would highly recommend that. And second, when I'm talking about buying harvest crafts, I'm referring to the TFT Discord. So that is basically a Discord where like-minded PoE players come together and exchange harvest crafts for a fee, so you can buy all possible harvest crafts there. Let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into the crafting. First up, the Thicket Bow. Now, you want a Thicket Bow because it's the best base to scale all the flat damage that you have, since it's the fastest one. You could get something with more crit, but honestly, the better your gear gets, the more crit you will get from Oscarms, and you can just use a Diamond Flask to fill out your crit, so I really wouldn't go for anything else. Thicket Bow is really nice. Also, the faster you attack, the better life gain on hit you get, and the better the build will feel. So yeah, basically what I did here is I Awakener Orbed, a Shaper, and a Elder Bow. What does that mean? That means I have two suffix mods here. Now, obviously, there will be other mods on here, but they do not matter. So basically, you will want to have only the proj per accuracy on your Elder base and only the Frenzy on your Shaper base. With only, I mean the only influenced mod. Otherwise, the Awakener Orb can brick. So basically, you fuse these two together, which I already did. And now you're basically here. Now, I would use a eye level 86 because you could accidentally stumble into an absolute insane bow, and I will tell you why. So there's some mods you can hit in the third suffix slot. You see how I'm only focusing on the suffixes here? The prefixes for now do not matter. They basically might as well not exist. But when you are fusing them together with an Awakener Orb, that means you could get a third suffix, or it could be open. Now, if there's something really, really bad there, you can annul and remove it, or but then if you get unlucky, you have to do it all over again. Now, if you do not have anything there, I will say that in a second, but if you hit one of the following mods, and I wrote this down, if you hit either +2 or +1 additional arrow, if you hit skills fire an additional projectile, which is a different mod but does the same, chain, so the +1 chain mod, then you can cut the pierce, don't forget that. You hit T1 accuracy, which is what I did, or any other attack speed mod, so Shaper attack speed, Elder attack speed, or any of the good normal attack speed rules, you're done with the suffixes. You just saved yourself a lot of currency, and that's good. But if you have an open mod, it's not that big of a deal. Now, at any point while crafting, not only on the bow, if your prefixes are full, meaning you have 3 prefixes there, you cannot craft suffixes cannot be changed, which is the most important mod for this craft. Suffixes cannot be changed as a prefix, so you need 1 prefix open. What you do is you harvest reroll, and the mod is called reroll prefixes, suffixes cannot be changed. You can buy this on the TFT Discord, so go ahead and do that. It costs like 1x. It rerolls, and most of the time you have 1 or 2 prefix mods, so now you have space. So don't go ahead and annul and brick your item. Please don't. Now, suffixes cannot be changed. And the nice thing about this one here is there is not a single speed mod in the prefix of Shaper and Elder. So what that means is if you go ahead and you harvest reroll speed, that means that you will 100% of the time get a speed suffix. You have around 60% chance to hit something decent here. You also have the chance, though, to hit really bad attack speed or movement speed or projectile speed. But there's also Shaper and Elder attack speed, so there's a pretty good chance that we hit it here. We're just going to try it off. If we don't hit, we just edit the item, whatever. So in this case, we got really nice. We got the T1 Shaper attack speed, which is the GG. That's basically 12% attack speed and chance to deal double damage. This and T1 normal attack speed are the best possible outcomes. So this is basically as good or better than what I have on my bow. So GG's. Now you will see that we have a prefix open, so we can continue the craft. at this point, the suffixes are done. The suffixes are the most important on this bow. As for the prefixes, depending on how far you will go, you can pay a lot. You can also just finish here. So you can say, all right, I'm done. And I just craft elemental penetration on, which goes up to 13% normally crafted. You can do that, sure. But if you don't want to, I will give you some hints on what to do here. So this is obviously a brick. We don't want this mod. So what exactly do we do? Well, there's a budget and a lot more expensive option. So as I said, you can just leave it. But if you want to go the budget option, you can do suffixes cannot be changed, and you can veiled reroll here. Now what that will do is your suffixes will be protected and you will get a veiled mod here. Now the second prefix doesn't really matter. If you hit something insane, I mean, GG, you're done. But most of the time you won't. But now we will just unveil, and you have a 50-50 chance to unveil LE pen. So in this case, we hit it, and we get the 14 to 16% LE pen. And now you have another craft. So you don't have to craft this. So now you can craft on quality or lightning damage added as chaos damage. That's really, really nice. Now, if you want to go the really big boy route though, what you do is you do suffixes cannot be changed, and you reroll with harvest influence. Now, the chance to hit the mod you want is per affix 23%. Not 23%, 1 in 23, sorry. But you often get more than one mod. So it's more like 1 in 18. I just did that math real quick, but it's around 1 in 18 that you hit it. And if you hit it, you get the 20%. Let's just look it up here. Mod pool, I think, yeah, Shaper. Yeah, targeted skills deal 20% more attack damage. So let's just assume you hit it. Usually when you hit it, it's going to be alone if you do the reforge. So let's just assume it is. That's how I hit it on my bow. So then it's here. This will cost you, if you're unlucky, up to like 60x or something. So proceed with caution only if you really have the money. Otherwise, do what I did before with the Veiled Chaos Orb and save yourself the hassle. There's a lot of other battles you can fight in this build to get it stronger. So yeah, but if you have the money to blow, this is really awesome. Also having a nice bow, always a nice prestige. And what you do here, if you have this, is instead of Veiled Chaos Orbing, is you're going to Iceling Veil here. Now, you have a 50% chance to hit it. In this case, we hit it. If you do not hit it, you have to do suffixes cannot be changed at the null, and you have a 50-50 chance. So if you get unlucky there, but usually you should hit it, and then you have this, and so now you have all the prefixes full, and you can craft on top. So that's basically the bow. Next up, the Quiver. So what you will need for the Quiver craft is a lot of these deafening essences of doubt. They will give you T0 accuracy, which is 481 to 600. And what you want to roll with them is, let's look at it, T1 projectile speed, actually. That gives your Tornado Shot a lot of range. Now, what I will say here is if you happen to hit T1 crit multi, I personally would keep it. And in your passive tree, I would try and somehow get these in your build instead to compensate for the loss of the proj speed. This gives you 35 proj speed, which is also really good. And keep the crit multi, because this build is also really, really starved on crit multi. So yeah, just do that. And if you hit this, now you want to have an open suffix at any point. So if there is a suffix here, it doesn't matter how good it is, you always want to remove it. And if you get that, now here's the part. You have to have your prefixes full. So that will usually happen anyway. You have like some trash. You will have, most of the time you will have at least 2 prefixes, but let's say you only have 2 prefixes full. The reason you need all 3 prefixes full for now is that if you Veil Slam with Iceling, you want to hit a suffix every time. Otherwise it's a 50-50 and Iceling Slams cost like 3x. So I wouldn't go ahead and do that. Now, how to fill your prefixes full is you just craft any suffix here for now in your free slot, and then you can slam if you don't have the time, like just put an Exalt on Raw, or you can Leo slam, or look at your bestiary if you have like a Shaper slam or something. Any of that will do. but you want your prefixes to be full. So let's remove this for now, and let's say we have something trash. So now, oh no, that's the craft, right? Mod pool, let's say we have this one. So this is our prefixes full and one suffix open. Now we do veil, icelink veil, we unveil, and we didn't hit it here. Now what you normally do here is you have to annul, and if you do not if you do not hit the annul, you have to redo it all over again. But usually it should happen. It's like, it's 50%, so it's not that big of a deal. And let's recraft it again. And we hit it. The 6% chance to get a frenzy charge on crit strike. So here we have it. This is a really, really important mod, so you don't have to run Divergent Blood Rage, was it? And Enhance or some shenanigans. That's really annoying, and you don't really have the gem space. So this one is the easiest way to get your frenzy charges, even against bosses. So now that we have that, our prefixes are full. What are we going to do? We reroll with Harvest. Prefixes cannot be, we actually have the craft here, right? Is it other? I think it's other, yeah. Reforge keeps suffixes. Yeah, let's do this. So as you see, now we only have one prefix open. So now we can continue crafting. Suffixes are done. At this point, if you hit something like this, you can just say I'm done. You can just craft on elemental damage with attacks. Even if you do not have this mod, you can just craft on life and say you're done, because the only thing that matters in the prefix is additional arrow. The elemental damage with attack is actually not that great. Once again, we have a lot of increased damage. It does almost nothing. So, but if you want to have the additional arrow, what you will have to do is you have a 1 in 11 chance to hit here with this. What we will do is bench craft, and we go here to our best friend, which is suffixes cannot be changed. And now we go reroll influence. And here there's a lot of outcomes. Like I said, it's a 1 in 11 chance. It's actually a little bit better. 1 in 11 is the chance on one mod. Sometimes it rolls more. But yeah, so we reroll that. And in this case, we hit movement speed, which is nice. You can just keep this if you hit it. But yeah, you can do this until you get the additional arrow. It costs you like 30x or something, which is worth it. But if you don't have the monies, obviously don't do it. Next up, the boots. As I already mentioned, Elesshar, another YouTuber, has a really, really good guide on how to make the absolute GG boots that I followed and that I made. So he describes it really well. I don't need to do it again. I'll link you the video down in the description. But as for budget boots or more budget boots that don't cost you 50x or something, for now, what you can do is you're going to craft Tailwind Elusive boots, which are actually a lot easier to craft this league. And I will show you why. So you're going to buy Stormrider boots, item level 86. It isn't really important that you have it influenced already. You want the Redeemer base. So if somebody happens to have one, sure, you can buy it. But if it's cheaper to just buy an Exalted Orb, what you can just do is you just throw an Elk on, and then what you do is you do Redeemer Exalted Orb, and now it has Redeemer influence. The reason it's important to do this on the Stormrider base is because it's extremely easy to get elusive with the method I'm going to show you, but it's very hard to get Tailwind. This mod has no tag anymore since of this patch, so this is really annoying to get. So I would honestly, you can alt spam if you want to, until you get that mod, but honestly, I would just buy one. Like I said, you want one that only has Tailwind, no other influenced mod, otherwise the Awakener Orb can brick. It does not matter what item level this is, it does not matter what base it is, it only matters that the Redeemer base is 86, and it is the base that you actually want with accuracy scaling. So what we're going to do is, we're here now, we want elusive. We're going to simply harvest reroll. So there's a crit reroll, and there's only one crit mod on boots, the end. So you put it on, you always hit elusive. You have to look for other influence mods. Now what you can do is you can annul here. So if you hit another influence mod here, you can annul until you hit either it or the elusive. In this case, we lost, we hit the elusive. Doesn't really matter, you just reroll crit again. These rerolls are really easy to get. You can farm them yourself in like 2 to 3 maps, sometimes even multiples. So just reroll crit again. And yeah, this time it's the only influence mod. So what we're gonna do is we are going to awaken an orb. And for that, I think it's like here, export data, right? And I just copy that here, and then I get the data here, and now we awaken the two together. So let's see what we have here. All right, we hit Tailwind, we hit Elusive, we hit Increased Strength, very interesting, and we hit Lightning Res. Now, it's a very nice setup. The Strength probably won't help much. It gives you a little bit more life. Lightning Res is really nice, but you have two prefixes open. So either if you want to, you can just craft movement speed and call it a day. Or what you can do is you can put another free X into this and go for an Iceling Veil. And what that does is you have a very high chance, I'm talking like, I think around 80% to hit Veiled movement speed. So let's unveil it real quick. Oh yeah, that mod is also there. So that's also nice. So you can either do this or this. I would probably go with this. So now we also have movement speed and we can craft life. So we don't have the GG boots with the Onslaught mod, so we're losing like 10% movement speed, but that's not that big of a deal. We do not need Cannot Be Frozen because we're a Juggernaut, so you would just craft life here, but these are really, really nice boots, under 10x. Awesome, that's all you need to know. Now, last but not least, the Amulet is the most flexible slot. As I said, this build is pretty int-starved, so you can just move the int around to have like a Lapis Amulet here. You can have high accuracy, high crit multi, life, and then a prefix open to craft projectile damage, projectile speed hybrid. So if you want to go super budget, just go with that. I will tell you how to make a really, really nice amulet. But if you're having trouble in other spaces in the build, if you need to upgrade some other parts, just throw on whatever Ami for now. As long as it has high accuracy, high crit multi, you'll be totally fine. So let's look over the craft that I could never achieve because I'm just super unlucky. Now, I want to tell you this craft is actually not that hard. The reason I didn't hit it is because I just didn't want to buy these essences. At this point of the league, there's a lot more out there, so it's actually pretty easy to buy these in bulk. But what you want is the Deafening Essence of Scorn. This gives you T0 crit multi, and we're going to use that to basically make this. So once again, the prefixes do not matter. We want to do the suffixes first. And we want to spam this essence, this is the essence mod, until we hit T1 accuracy. Now, once we hit that, there's a lot of options for the third suffix. It's not that important. You can hit any res. You can hit int, which is really, really nice. You can also chaos res is really, really nice. But if you have a suffix open, I will just really quickly tell you how you can fill that with at least something decent. So what you will want to do is you will want to have one prefix open. We already talked about that. So you want to do, once again, bench and our best friend, suffixes cannot be changed. Suffixes cannot be changed only means the suffixes I have cannot be changed. It doesn't mean that it cannot add a mod. Now, if you want fire res, lightning res, or cold res in the suffix, you can try that with harvest, but you have a chance to get cold, fire, lightning damage, which are all really bad for us. So the only thing you have left is go for chaos res. We're pretty starved for chaos res. It's really, really nice. And the thing is, there's no chaos damage, and there's also no chaos prefix that you can hit. So you will always get chaos res. Although you can hit low ones, but I still feel like this is the best way to go about it. So we do reroll chaos, and suffix cannot be changed is here, and now we always get the chaos res. We hit T3. That's pretty solid. We get 21 to 25, and our suffixes are done. As for the prefixes, you can go a lot of ways with this. You can just finish it at this point. It's not super important. But what you can do, if you want really good prefixes, which I will do eventually, is you will once again do suffixes cannot be changed. As I said, suffixes are done. Suffixes cannot be changed. Reroll life. Now, we hit 39 life, but eventually, if you do this like 2 or 3 times, you will hit OK life roll. So let's say we remove this one, and let's say we get like OK luck here. Let's go to the mod pool. Let's say we get like T3 life or something. Let's just say it. And now what we want to do is we want to Iceling Slam. That's also why we don't want to Iceling Slam in the suffix, is the prefix has less good mods. So you want to use your Iceling Slam for the prefix, because you can't do it twice once there's already a veiled mod on there. So what we do is we Iceling Slam here, and there's 2 good outcomes. Number one is area damage and area of effect, which is really a quality of life for Herald of Ice, since we have almost no increased area damage. And the second one, which is the GG one, is projectile damage and projectile speed. Now, let's see what we get from the Unveil. We got the area damage and increased area of effect, which is really nice. And now we just finally craft on the projectile speed, projectile damage, and voila, you have a better ME than I have. Really hard, and I'm kind of depressed that it was that easy. I will also really quick talk about the implicit. The implicit, if you want a synthesis implicit, the best is a high accuracy rating, meaning flat accuracy. Percentage accuracy is not as good as flat. Now, obviously, I waited a long time for this base. I had a whoop on this forever. Also, really good implicits are increased maximum life. It goes up to 8%, I think. And 15 life gain on hit is also really cool. It probably will also mean that you don't even need the vitality mod here, or you can just go nuts and have the vitality mod and the implicit. But just fiddle around with that. It's not super important. As I said, you can also go for int in the prefix. But yeah, that's basically it for the amulet. Now that's it for the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. Helps out a ton. And since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.